We are on a most amazing route today. Just north of Bryce Canyon National Park on Highway 22, you'll find Widtsoe Ghost Town and Osiris Ghost Town, and we're going to take a look at both, so let's dive right into it. Widtsoe was established in early 1900 by a different name, but by 1915 it was named Widtsoe, and it attracted many dry farmers to the area, and we're going to show you what's left. Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We are in an abandoned house here, and it is extremely windy. I hope you can hear me. This thing is literally moving in the wind. Wow, what an amazing old building this is. Homes like this were built in the area around, I'm assuming, the 1920s to revitalize the town, as dry farming just did not work in the area. And all the people came to this town for dry farming. And this was an amazing high-end home. As you can see how large it was, and just the quality, the archways inside the house, some of the moldings, the casings are still around the walls, and just, wow, you make this a great haunted house. I'm just saying, sitting in here, look at everything moving on the walls. This wind was just ripping through here. Now, all the roads are extremely rough and gravel, and just around the corner is this amazing schoolhouse and church, what's left of it. And I think these buildings get almost more beautiful as the skeletons of these places get exposed. You can still see the finished walls on the inside, and look at this thing. It is just crazy, and looking through the roof gives you that real eerie old ghost town feeling. Now I'm going to circle back as to why this town existed. It was dry land farming. That farming encompassed specific agricultural techniques for non-irrigated cultivation of crops. Dryland farming is basically done with dry lands. They're characterized by cool, wet seasons, followed by a warm, dry season. Now, this was a history lesson for me. They did eventually irrigate this land, but it just was too dry and too far away, and this town dried up, literally. At one time, there were over 1,000 people in this town, and there was a Forest Service office. And when they relocated that office, this town really started to shrink. But there are people now buying property and starting to move back into town. Pretty amazing. This building, I don't know, I fell in love with this building, just the way it looks and the color of the wood, because some buildings just get that dried out look like this one. Not that they're not awesome, but that other one just had a really interesting color. Now, this was a home. This was fenced off around it. This is as close as I could get, but this is really interesting. These skeletons of these houses, just imagine that a family actually lived here and called this their home, and it was probably an extremely nice home in its time, but the way they deteriorate is just, it's really eerie to see. I wish I could have got closer and went inside this. Look at the front of this house as well. Beautiful. So we're going to head north down 22, about 17 miles, to a town called Osiris. Now, this was settled in 1910. This town along the East Fork of the Sevier River, I hope I said that correctly, was originally called Henderson in honor of a Penguich man who donated the land. But then a man named Holt, the Holt family from a nearby Widtsoe, came and constructed a massive creamery and a summer home for the season. Unknown, they named this site Osiris, after an Egyptian god of the afterlife. Harsh weather conditions and poor farming doomed this settlement, and it was abandoned in the 1920s. There were more homesteads and beautiful towns lost by severe weather. Who knew that this was going to happen when they put all of this money and effort into building these locations? But if they didn't, we wouldn't have these amazing ghost towns to share with you. Well, this property's been fenced off. There's 4 silos there. As you can see, the stairs going up inside of the building. Each floor has the stairs. The bottom is stonework. All of this is stone on the bottom. Wish we could get in there. I did not realize it was a creamery when I was standing in front of it. I just knew that this was Osiris Ghost Town. I had no idea that we were going to find this giant structure and be able to share this with you. Now again, this was the windiest day I've seen in a while, and this building was creaking and the tin was slapping around. Just crazy to see these abandoned buildings and the noises that they make. But this structure is huge. We found an opening in the fence to allow us to go around back. It didn't say welcome, but anyway. So let's take a look at the back of the building and how tall this structure actually is when you're at the ground level. So after review, this was not only a creamery, but this was a flour mill as well. So we're going to head back to Widtsoe and share with you the cemetery. As all old ghost towns have a cemetery, this is well taken care of and one of the nicest ghost town cemeteries we have seen. We hope you enjoyed our adventure to Widtsoe Ghost Town and Osiris. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.